5 Vincentian virtues come from St. Vincent's 5 characteristic virtues, with one difference. What Vincent called mortification, we call selflessness. While the distinction between the two is not trivial, Vincent also talked about the spirit of mortification, which is a good way for us to understand our call to selflessness. The word mortification comes from the Latin mortificare, meaning to put to death. That's the same image our rule uses, calling selflessness dying to our ego with a life of self-sacrifice. And isn't this what Christ taught? If anyone wishes to come after me, he must deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me. Through mortification, we may physically separate ourselves from earthly needs, as we do by fasting, for example, during Lent, but the purpose of mortification is not physical. It's not exterior, but interior. To mortify our egoism, as Pope Benedict XVI put it, and open our heart to love of God and neighbor. Yes, we become hungry when we fast, but it's dying to our ego that we seek. Mortification then may be a means, but selflessness is the end. As Vincentians, our exterior sign of selflessness is to share our time, our possessions, our talents, and ourselves in a spirit of generosity. But true selflessness is more than just sharing. As St. Louise explained, in order for our service to be pleasing to God, it must proceed from a good heart, with no thought to our own pleasure in giving or to our own reputations. Without this self-denial, she said, our actions are empty noise. In them there's only self-love, and such self-love banishes the pure love of God. Recall that our rule says that selflessness begins with dying to our ego. Ego is the Latin word for I. We die to ourselves. As the apostle declared, I have been crucified with Christ, and it is no longer I who live, but it is Christ who lives in me. The opposite of selfless, then, is not selfish, it's self. Lack of the spirit of selflessness, Vincent taught, not only separates us from God, but from each other. So much so, he said, that we can't live, I repeat, we can't live with one another if our interior and exterior senses aren't mortified. Our first rule in 1835 echoed this idea, saying that without self-denial, understood as surrendering one's own opinion, no association is durable. The man who's in love with his own ideas, the rule said, will disdain the opinions of others. We die to our egos and to our will, so that we may be filled with God. Then, when we share ourselves with the neighbor, we may truly share God with them too.